Well, hello, Royal We Monday Night Live Chat crew. How are you? Happy Monday night to you, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. We made it to 2022, and we barely made it to 2022. Right? Still on lockdown. Still, whatever. You know, it's still crazy. It's still crazy. Hopefully everybody had a good holiday and had a good New Year's beginning. Even though there's been gifts that been gifts that have been kept on giving that nobody wants. Hopefully nobody got ill for Christmas. I did. I spent a few days being ill myself, but I got over it, and I'm happy to be here. Hey, what's up, Tanya? How are you? I look warmer. Yeah, I am. I'm bundled up. I came prepared. I covered my ears. Got my hat. Got my little fuzzy on it. I am going to go ahead and, if y'all don't mind, Happy New Year's, everybody. By the way, I'm going to fix my scarf here because it is chilly. But we're rolling anyways. How have y'all been? Happy New Year, everybody. I'm going to tie this thing. Tie this thing so it keeps my neck warm. That's how I do it. Tie it like so, and then I tuck it in like so, and voila. Now I'm warm. I'm warm here in the Midwest. There we go. So, listen, I do want to say to Tanya, to my moderator Tanya, I saw that you messaged me. I saw it recently. For whatever reason, my Google Voice kind of crapped out on me, if I can say that. I didn't get messages on there for a few days, and really, you were the only one that messaged me on using Google Voice. So I did see it. I apologize. I wasn't able to get to you because I didn't get it until just, I think just today. As a matter of fact, I saw that text message, Tanya. So, and it looks like you sent it a while ago. But anyways, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I missed that. Like I said, my Google Voice app, something happened. I had to reinstall it. So that's why I missed that. So anytime you need to talk, if you want to talk later on, Tanya, I'm here for you. We can talk after this. Now that with that out of the way, by the way, everybody be sure to give Tanya love for just being an awesome moderator here. I see her usually in there, kicking people out left and right, and karate chopping them hackers and them trolls right out of there, making sure that everybody has a safe place to be on Monday nights. So thank you all. Thank you all. Well, hopefully you all are doing good. I have been enjoying just, with the holidays, I took some time. Personally, I just took some time to rethink some of the direction where I'm going with the Royal We, how I can take it, how I can make things better, how I can take things to different levels. So I've been working on that. I know you haven't seen a whole lot of videos being posted, but they are coming. I do have a video for tomorrow. I'm going to be experimenting kind of with some different I'm always experimenting with different styles. I don't even know why I'm telling you this anymore. I think I'm telling you this because, well, hang on 1 second, because somebody asked what a moderator does. Deborah. Moderator is a top secret classified position here on Royal We. That'd be Tanya. So she basically has access to boot people. It's basically that. She just has access to I am fortunate to have Tanya. Absolutely. Tanya is so deserving of so much, and I'm so appreciative of her. But anyway, she has access to block people if there's certain comments that are off-putting. She can delete it. She can kind of kick people out, and she does a really, really good job. She's just a very fair, genuine person, and she's been with Tanya. To all of you watching, Tanya has been with the Royal We since oh my gosh, I want to say like at least 3 years, 3.5 years. I think she would have to clarify, but as long as I've been doing Royal We Live, which I experimented with it 2.5 years ago, stopped it because I didn't know anything about YouTube, and it was tanking my YouTube channel doing the live on that. So I had to stop because YouTube's really lame. What was happening when I originally started doing the live chats is, when you talk live like this format of talking, the videos tend to be, an hour long, and they were about an hour long that we would be live, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I'm sure Tanya remembers that. And I would take phone calls and all that stuff, the same things I do now. I formatted it a little bit differently. It was more, ongoing, but nonetheless, they were still like a half hour to an hour in length. And what was happening is people would turn off because it's just too long. Nobody is going to watch, that kind of talking for a long time. And so YouTube saw that as people coming on and signing off, watching for a little bit, then turning it off. And since YouTube is primarily just algorithms, you know what I mean? It's like some big computer matrix brain, and all it does is crunch these numbers. It was looking at it as, oh, well, this channel sucks. People click on, watch it, and then click off. And so what was happening is it was burying any of my videos, any of them. It would just bury them, and nobody would see them. I used to get comments from people who would say, Kevin, I don't see your videos anymore, and they're not popping up. And this was back when I was originally doing the live streams on my main channel. And so I figured it out after a period of time. I figured out that it was the live streaming on my original channel that was really messing things up. It was making such a gap for the algorithm. It was saying, this guy puts out our videos and the average person watches it for 5 minutes, jumps off, 10 minutes, jumps off. And so the algorithm was like, we're not going to recommend this channel, type of a thing. So that's when I stopped it. I pulled the plug on that. And then algorithms. Yeah. Yeah, so I jumped off, and then I just took a break, started doing my regular videos, and then my YouTube channel started to grow again. So when I started to do the 8-minute videos or whatever. And so I started to do the live stream again, but I created a new channel for it. So now I have the 3 channels. I have the Royal We, which is just videos. I have this live chat channel. Then I have Fellowship channel. And I decided to keep everything separate like that. And as you all know, I strive to do different creative things with my videos. My videos have been kind of all over the place. And this year, 2022, I've got my goals. I don't know if you all have set your goals up. My goals is to really stabilize the Royal We by finding out really consistently what people expect and what people want to see. I've never been an analytical person, and that's a problem. It's probably it has a negative effect. I've never, to be honest with you, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I have not looked at my YouTube analytics other than that issue with the live streaming that I did 2.5 years ago. I don't look at the analytics. I have not paid attention to when people watch videos, what they watch, when they turn it off, when they stop. I just didn't care. And I look at that now as really kind of selfish, because what happens is I just want to get on there. I want to talk. I want to share my heart. I want to connect with people about narcissistic abuse. But I realize that people need certain bits of information. That's what they're expecting. They need help. They need healing. And really the analytical tools are there to help me see that. They're there to help me identify. This is what people are resonating with. This is what people need to hear. And me ignoring that really, I think, is just kind of, it's only hurt. So this is the year where I'm really paying attention to the analytics. And so I wish I could show you what I've done, but oh my goodness, I've been spending the last week creating a persona of my demographic audience. I've even given her a name. And yes, I say her. I've given her a name, the person I talk to. It just so happens that I've learned a lot about the Royal We channel just over this Christmas break. I've learned that 70% of my viewers, 70% of y'all watching are women. 30% are men. Um, of that, 80% are within the United States. The other 20 are throughout Europe and UK, Canada, and Australia. So I'm mainly going to be focusing on the videos targeting that demographic of women. The average age is between 35 to 55, basically 30 to 60 within that range. And that's the demographic. And I nailed down the watch time. Oh, I put so much work into the analytics, discovered the hours that this demographic watches the videos usually between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. That's the highlighted area of when they watch. The average person watches one of my videos for 5 minutes and 21 seconds. And I could see it on every single video, and it's all there. The analytics are there. And it's crazy to me that without looking at that, I've strived to make videos that were 10 minutes long, 8 minutes long, 12 minutes long. And I used to work so hard to try to make videos long enough. And when I finally look at the analytics, and I'm like, nobody watches the videos that long. I'm even able to see what videos and what things I said in the beginning of the videos to make people stop watching within the first 30 seconds versus watching the whole video afterwards. So anyhow, I'm going to be putting in a lot of the analytical stuff that I've learned. And I'm telling you this because the videos that you're going to see on the Royal We this week and continuing on are going to be a little bit more focused. They're going to be a lot more focused. And you're still going to see some experimentation. I'm going to be putting out videos. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to BS them. I'm really putting out videos of things that are meaningful to me. But stylistically, I'm going to be experimenting. I'm going to have like a control video, which is just me talking, which is typical. And then one day I'll have a different style of video, outside walking, more random shots, things like that. And I really want to look at the data. I'm really going to start looking heavily because I didn't go back and look at every single video through all time. But now that I have a better understanding of who my audience is, now I'm actually going to set up control groups with these videos and find out what videos are the most helpful and really narrow down certain types of videos that I could put out there that are going to be the most beneficial for people. That way I'm not wasting my time, wasting my energy, and wasting other people's time and energy, you know what I mean? And watching videos thinking they're going to get something and not. I'd rather not do that. So you can expect to see that starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's video, yeah, they, yeah, the UK does have good knowledge of narcissistic abuse. Yeah. Oh, hey, thank you, Raishans. Yeah. Self-promo. Yeah, I am going to be doing self-promo too. I'm going to be doing a whole social media campaign. So those of you who follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you're going to be seeing a lot more there as well. So really, I'm really going to focus more on marketing, more on expanding, doing more of that stuff. Just things, using analytics, things I didn't pay attention to. It's about time. I mean, I've been doing now YouTube for 5 years. I think that 5 years, 100,000 subscribers. I think now it's kind of it's do it. Take it seriously. Take the analytics seriously. What do people want versus what do I just want to do? So that's really what I'm going to stop doing. Now, tomorrow's video that I'm posting is I'll give you all a heads up. It's an interesting one. It's how to stop thinking about narcissists, because this is still an ongoing thing. People have a really hard time, especially getting out of toxic relationships, have a hard time getting these situations and these people off their minds. It's hard to for people to move on and stop thinking of these things. Going into the new year, my hope is that people will start to get away from having their mind on narcissists. And it's a big deal. Like I said, and I get this because I've been there too. It really trips your life up. It stops you from living when you are battling thoughts in your mind of toxic relationships. It occupies. I've learned, in my personal opinion, I think narcissistic abuse, it really shines a light on the limits of our mind energy, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's we like to think that we are capable of thinking of infinite things and we can be in multiple places at once. But the reality is that when you're suffering from thinking and excessive thinking of narcissists, and that's occupying your mind, you're going to find that you fail at work, you fail at productivity, you're failing because it's really difficult. And so I'm putting out a video tomorrow on the Royal Weed channel that is going to be a tool that I believe that we can start using. And the tool is it's an analytical tool. Believe it or not, it's an analytical. I found it in my learning about analytics and how to analyze the Royal Weed channel. I stumbled upon all kinds of analytical things that people use and organizations and groups and stuff like that. And I saw this tool of problem solving, and I thought to myself, that is an amazing tool. That could be a key for people to understand how to change the way they think. The problem with that I'm going to address in the video tomorrow, the problem with excessively thinking and ruminating and having these thoughts about narcissists is that there's no answer. There's no one answer that I could give you or anybody else. There's no such thing as 5 ways to stop thinking of narcissists, 10 ways to stop thinking of narcissists. It doesn't work like that. And the reason is because it's highly individualized. It's complicated based on who you are as a person and what your habits are and what your lifestyle is. That's going to dictate your constantly thinking about the narcissist. And so what I'm going to be doing is giving you a tool that I've discovered, and it's actually a process. It's a step-by-step process of reverse problem solving. How many of you have heard of that? Reverse problem solving. So we're basically going to take, in the video tomorrow, we're going to take the question of how do you stop thinking about narcissists? And in the video, we're going to reverse it. And then we're going to work through the steps of that. And at the end of that, you should basically have better understanding, we all should, of how we can change our thinking. So that's tomorrow's video. Yeah. It does take a long time. Yeah. So there you go. That's me in a nutshell. Mark says, I wonder if narcissists have support groups like Narcissists Anonymous. Probably. I hope so. Most narcissists won't know. They won't even know enough to do that. That's the bummer part about dealing with narcissists. It's so difficult to imagine that they just don't see anything wrong with how they're doing things, how they treat people. They just don't see it as wrong. Maryam says, I wish there'd be a day that I can get them out of my mind. Well, Maryam, watch the video I put out tomorrow, because the tool that I'm going to put in there is of reverse problem solving, I believe is going to be a key into helping you understand how you can get them out of your mind. Yeah, Lindsay says they aren't self-aware enough. They're really not. They don't want to change. They don't. And that's what's really weird. Narcissists, when you start to really think about narcissistic personality disorder and you look at the people that you know who really, really, really are affected by it, it's at some level you do just start to feel, I don't know, sorry or compassion is the right word, but you start to see, man, no wonder their life is just a mess all the time. But at the same time, what's frustrating about it is that they make it work. So they make a mess of their life. They damage people, push people out of their lives, but just move on to something else and manage to just make it work for a short time. And then they move on to something else, and they move on to something else. Just in a way, it's just everlasting wandering. You know? Narcissists are just like doomed to wander this earth. And I think that we ought to really pay attention to that and be on guard, because just like wanderers can also be thieves. They can be intruders. People who wander, they go into every situation knowing they're just going to wander, right? I hate to bring up things of like homelessness, because there's some people who are homeless who really hate it, who fell on hard times. But and I've talked about homeless people in the past, because in California I really dealt with a lot of homelessness and the people who are homeless, and I used to be a part of missions trips and stuff, and we'd go to Los Angeles and go to Skid Row in Los Angeles and feed the homeless. And what you discover is that, yes, there's people who fall on hard times, and they would really like to they experienced a better life, fell on hard times, and they're trying to get to a better life again. But then there's others. You know what I'm talking about. It's as if that homelessness it's their preferred way of living. And even if they were handed a check for $1 million, they would do whatever, maybe even buy a house, but then almost look forward to being homeless again. You know what I mean? Like it's just what it is. And I know we think about that. No, that's not true. Nobody wants to be homeless. Well, yeah, there are some people that just, no matter what, they just stay there. And I think of like narcissistic people as kind of being the same. They go into, you can give them the world. You can provide a narcissist with the best relationship, the most love that they've ever had from anybody. You can feed them and nurture them and be the best form of supply, but they've already, somewhere inside them, have got it as they're just passing through. The only person that's not in on it is you. And it sucks, because it's the last thing you want. You don't want people to be just passing through in your life, but that's what narcissists do. You know? Yeah. It's a homeless mentality. It's and again, it is. And the point here is not to talk about homelessness. I've been homeless before, and I fell on hard times, and I had to fight my way out. Part of it was leaving California. It was rough. I faced that. It wasn't really homeless. I always had a place to stay, but I mean, if you call a hotel place to stay, I've been there. I've been there. I fell on hard times, and I know what that's like, and especially having babies. It was scary, very dark time in my life. So dark that it just propelled me to get out of that situation. But so I understand how people can fall on hard times. But like I said, there's some people that just, they prefer that though. You can give them everything and they're just going to go right back to that homelessness. Almost like it's just a part of who they are. And the point of that is to talk about narcissists and to make that connection. Narcissists, whether they are homeless or not, their meanness, their cruelty, their lack of stability in relationships, they're not caring about another individual. It's like that. They go into a relationship. It could be the best relationship. It could be their way out. It could be the narcissist's way to finally have stability. But they'll choose not to anyways. Their mentality just won't allow it. Their personality won't allow it. They have to always feel, this is temporary, I'm out of here, and I'll do it cruelly and meanly. It's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, what's new? What's new with you all? I'm probably going to Maybe go another 10 minutes or so because it's cold. I don't want to freeze out here. Yes, Jessica. Jessica says, God blessed you by, excuse me, by moving you from California. You are where you're meant to be now. Proof of that is you're blessed. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was a scary decision to move from California, but it was the best decision in the world. You know? Yeah, I can take a call. I'm all set up. I'm sorry I didn't put the phone number up, did I? Let me put the phone number up so that if anybody would like to call in, always taking phone calls for you all. That's the main reason we're here. And by the way, so part of redoing the Royal We, I pinned the telephone number to the top, everybody. Part of redoing and rethinking the analytics of Royal We is I am going to be also reformatting the live chat. Not that it's going to change anything to what you all are doing or experiencing here, but it's going to look different. Might feel different. I'm going to try to organize. I'm going to be promoting it a lot more. My goal would be to really get it to a place where people are calling in, serious people are calling in who have, lots of, good questions. And I just want to get that part of it going again. So I'm going to be pushing it probably more on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, sending out reminders, asking people to join through email letters and whatever. And I'm just going to be experimenting with all that. And hopefully you all can do the same thing. In your small communities, Facebook, your Instagram communities, maybe rally some people together, share some information, share Monday Night Live Chat, an opportunity to come together and talk. That would be helpful. So that's another thing too, is seeing how I can have other people kind of advocate for the cause, to bring more people in to watch and to be a part of it, to call in, to ask questions. And so that's so you can count on that. Hopefully, by the way, you're all linked. I don't know if you're all on social media. If you are, great. If not, I get it. But if you are linked, hopefully you are connected with me on Instagram or on Facebook. That's where I'm going to be posting a lot of the stuff, the reminders, putting out messages, talking about going live, all that good stuff. Shelly says, this is ridiculous. What's going on, Shelly? How are you? Yeah, so anytime it's on live chat, it's a free call. It's a free call. The only calls that aren't free are when you schedule one-on-one time. Welcome, Miss Cam. Miss CAM, first time watching you live. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, anybody can call in. So yeah, you're welcome to call in on Monday Night Live Chat, but it's free, but it's live. So your voice is going to be on the show. So I just caution people, be mindful, as far as putting your whole name or whatever else, stuff like that. But that's the point. That's for being here, is for us to talk and chat. Hi, Heather. It's good to see you. Hi, Believe from Canada. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you're all here. Yeah. Do we dial 0 before the number? I don't believe so. Maybe a 1. I think in the United States it's a 1. And then the number. I should have put that there too. I apologize for that. Yeah, it should be a 1 and then the number. Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Ellen. Thank you. That's huge. Oh, thank you so much, Ellen. I appreciate you. I really do. That's huge of you. Rebecca says, finally quit job because of a toxic boss. That's good. That's good. Oh, And we've got our first telephone
Call
call.
from
Probably
Miss Cam.
first and last. We'll see. Hi, Miss Cam. You're live on the Royal We.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Thank you so much for calling in.
I'm so happy I just caught your live, and I've been watching your videos now for probably about a year, and even sending them out to people and having a great laugh, especially like how did Jesus deal with a narcissist?
Thank you.
Or what does he even
I
say to a
remember.
narcissist? I love it.
I remember that one. I do remember that one. That was one of my more
Yeah,
experimental videos back in the day. Yeah. Well,
it was
thank you.
awesome. Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess just real quick, I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I was in two narcissistic relationships, one marriage to my son's father for 6 years, and then shortly after, like 5 months later, at 5 months after leaving him, I find myself in another narcissistic relationship, but they were totally different. My ex-husband was more of a covert narcissist, and come to find out, my other ex of 5.5 years, he was more of a grandiose narcissist, more like my father. But now I'm in a new marriage, and let me see, March will be 2 years. And my husband has been very patient with me, understanding a lot of my traumas and stuff like that. And I'm in counseling as well too. But it's like me really letting that guard down
Hmm.
after all of the hurt and the pain. It's like, how do you like totally move forward and just trust like 100%? I feel like I do trust him like 100%. And sometimes I'm almost like waiting to get hurt again.
Mm. Now, is this coming from you or from him?
What, which part?
Well,
Oh, it's all
this
me. I'm sorry. It's
idea.
me in my head.
Well,
It's
yeah.
me in my head.
So this idea that you're untrusting is all you. It's not him telling you
Nope.
that you're
Nothing that he's
untrusting.
doing or saying.
So you just feel you're untrusting.
No, 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 no. I feel like, how do you fully just trust after all? Like, I still have my guard up
Right. So, well,
at
but again,
times.
I just want to make sure that I understand the root of this question. Is it, do you really feel you're not that trusting in the relationship? And that's why you want to know. I mean, again, if you're asking how do you let your guard down and fully trust, the implication is that you either don't feel like you're very trusting of him, or maybe he's saying, or he's indicating you're not trusting. That's what I'm trying to find out where it's coming from.
See, I'm not even sure because he's
You know,
not making me
I
feel as though.
I think that allow me then, if you don't mind, I'll try my best. I think that one, we could be hard on ourselves, and
Yeah.
perhaps this is just you are who you are. Okay,
Mhm.
everything that you experience in your life, from traumas from your childhood and your parents, your dad, your mom, your marriages, it's shaped you, it's formed you. And as a result of these relationships, narcissistic abuse or any type of toxic relationships, they tweak you. They do things to change you slightly, but it never changes your core character. It just changes some of your
Mhm.
habits. It changes some of your views. It changes some of your tolerance levels. And but I think the issue here with questions like yours is not really these things, but just more of a self-acceptance thing. Maybe it's because of these relationships that you have a hard time accepting who you are. Maybe your husband is okay with how you are. He doesn't see an issue, but you do, as a result of all of the toxic relationships you've experienced. And if that's the case, then you don't need to worry about whether or not you're not being trusting enough to your husband. What you do need to do is just worry more about and think about, are you able to live your life to its fullest? Are you able to enjoy your life? Are you able to live with peace? And if not, then perhaps, getting help somehow to discover where it is you're having a hard time accepting yourself. Um, how to let go of the past feelings of rejection. You're not good enough, this and that. I really think that's what it comes down to.
And that does make a lot of sense because in my therapy sessions, like we're dealing with the whole like inner child, like just go, even though I know this type of stuff, to like it stems from childhood and why you make the choices that you make and
Right.
the different abuse and stuff like that. So,
Right.
like what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I think that's what we're tapping into to make sure I can be myself and enjoy life and let go of certain things because I'm dealing with why do I still feel so angry about different things and
Sure.
just trying to get to the root of
Right.
a lot of that stuff and to be able
Right.
to totally move forward.
Yeah. 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 It's accepting the pieces of you even as a result of trauma. A lot of it is just radical self-acceptance. A lot of people spend way too much time thinking that, once you experience narcissistic abuse, it's easy to think that, man, I've got to change myself to be the person who I used to be. And I get that question a lot on one-on-one appointments and things like that. How do I go back to the person I was? Well, you're never going to be the person that you used to be. And you shouldn't want to be that person because that person had gaping holes and and
True.
and really bad boundaries. And so instead, it's not about, trying to become overly trusting like you used to be or whatever. Instead, it's about just embracing who you are now. It's about accepting even the parts of you that don't let certain people in. It's your trust needs to be put in yourself now. Your trust needs to be in that you've experienced so much in your life that now you know better. And
Yeah.
so and that's a good thing. And so really the work I would say in your life needs to be in a place where you just learn to embrace yourself now, embrace everything about how you think, how you see things, embrace it, honor it, be thankful, thank God for your experiences, and almost as a part of you saying I'm almost perfect now. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you know what I mean? Perfect in the sense of
Yeah.
I now know, I mean, I don't experience abuse anymore. A lot of times people say, how do you know when you're healed from narcissistic abuse? And it's a good question. People think that healing
Mhm.
from narcissistic abuse means that you're going to be happy and full of joy and just dancing all over again. And that's not what it looks like. I believe that healing from narcissistic abuse simply looks like you not experiencing abuse anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how you know you're healed. And I believe that the reason that is because now you spot it out a mile away. You don't tolerate it. You respond and react effectively and quickly. And so, like I said, it's you're more and more getting perfected, not becoming more and more less trusting. You're becoming more and more perfected, if that makes sense. More and more wise. Does that make sense?
No, it really does, and I do feel that way because I did put him through the ringer before we got married with all the questions. And he said, "I could tell you've been through some stuff,"
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, because I said I refuse to go through this again.
that's right.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to make sure. I mean, I talked to his ex, I talked to his parents, I made sure I met people in his circle just to see how he would act and all the red flags. I just was looking so hard
right.
and nothing was there. So it made it an easier choice to, get married and move forward with him. He is very, very patient with me. So
Well, again,
and it's a beautiful thing.
well,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, he can be patient, but I just don't think I mean, well, I'm sure, that very personal thing between you and him as far as knowing how patient he is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, I would just work on just really accepting who you are. I think that patience can also be that he understands you and he loves you and he gets you, and that's fine. And you don't have to look at that as being some incredible thing. That's another thing we have to
Mhm.
watch out. We have to watch out for too. When you go through abusive relationships, you could start to really think that, well, you were the one that maybe caused all the issues. And so now, maybe subconsciously, even though they were narcissistic and abusive, you can still subconsciously feel like, well, I was the issue. And so now you're in a good relationship and you constantly are saying, well, he's so patient. He's so patient. Well, he just maybe finally you were able to get together with somebody who's capable of loving.
Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
so you don't really need to just overly praise it as being patient as though you're some kind of difficult person to be around. It's just you finally, and again, this goes back to understanding that you're healed. When you're able
Mhm.
to finally open up and just accept somebody who's genuinely loving, that means that you got to the place where you're able to guard and block and push away people who are toxic. And now you're finally just gravitating, if you will, and to people who are just loving, right? Really genuinely loving. So I wouldn't say it's an issue of just, being overly patient or anything like that. I think it's just you found somebody who's capable of love, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's so funny we have this thing. He says, man, you think everyone's a narcissist? And I'm like, no. I said, my motto is everyone's a narcissist till proven innocent. Like, I have myself so guarded
Yeah.
that I'm like, I need to make sure I
Yes.
watch for those warnings. And I told him too, I'm like, from the last church we were at, I said, only 2 people in that church I seen were true narcissists. So I said, it's not like I think everyone's a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's like you just have
Well,
to be cautious.
it's an epidemic. It is
Yeah.
a culture. And it always has been. It's not new, but
Yeah.
we have a name for it now. There's always been, just like there's always been killers, murderers. There's always been
Uh-huh.
thieves. There's always been homeless. Listen, it's a demographic of society. These
Yeah.
people who see the world differently. How do they see the world? They see the world as every man for themselves, dog eat dog, I'll beat you up, I'll fight you. It's the bullies in your high school, the bullies in your job places. These people exist. These people are, we come to just call this narcissistic personality disorder. They just are, when it comes down to it, in a way, careless, reckless individuals who just are okay living like that.
Yeah.
But here's what's weird is that on their side, they look at people like myself, someone like you, they look at us as being too caring and too sappy and too sensitive
Uh-huh.
and too this and too that. And so they see that as wrong and toxic. And this is why you can never change a narcissistic person and they can never change you and it can never work out. It's on two opposite ends of the cultural society spectrum. One side being this is how life is, toughen up, deal with it, you fight, right? And the other side
Uh-huh.
being, no, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to fight. What about just deep connection and genuineness? And the problem is both sides look at each other as being wrong. This is why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And one of the things I just talk about with people, it's not about eradicating narcissists. It's about not being attracted to them, not finding them attractive. It's about, knowing who you are, where you are, and being attracted to what is most like you in that way.
That's so true. And that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your channel. God bless you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
That was a great call. I appreciated that. Appreciate that phone call. It looked like Believe was asking if it's a free call. It is a free call, unless you're, I'm guessing, unless it's, it's a Google Voice, so it should be free. Unless it's out of the country, perhaps there's a long distance surcharge. I'm not sure, but I've never heard of that. I've never had an issue, but it is a free call to call in, meaning you don't have to schedule an appointment. Yeah. So anyhow, hopefully everybody's doing okay. Again, it was very good seeing y'all tonight. And with that, I'm not sure if Tanya's still in the house or not. Listen, I'm thinking also of, oh, thank you, Marianne. I am going to I think I'm gonna start. One of the things I'm gonna hopefully start to do is do live chat earlier instead of 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is kind of late. If I do it earlier, I can probably go a little bit longer, um, and take more telephone calls and stuff. So be mindful of that. There might be that slight change in the future on Roe We Live Chat. Might be easier to get it going earlier in the evening as opposed to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is kind of late. So that's something I'm thinking about too. Anyways, listen, your questions, your comments, I'm going to keep you all posted with what's going on. I appreciate your emails, your thoughts on anything that can make this a better place, a better experience. Yeah, I might be warmer earlier. That's for sure. That's for sure. So with that, I'll see if there's one more question here. Destiny says, Kevin, do you have any tips for dealing with narcissistic family members who are in their last stages of life, physically ill or impaired? We have a lot of them in our family. I don't have any tips for that. As far as, well, let me take this phone call and then I'll answer that. Finish that.
Call from
Jack Lumen.
Hello, Jack.
Hi there.
How are you?
Doing okay, but dealt with something today, and I think I've got some ideas on what to do, but I'm hoping it's beneficial to the chat, and well, I know it's something I have to work with. I think I've maybe mentioned that my wife, Huffle Mama, and we do house sitting for my parents. You know some of the background with my enabler father, my narcissistic mother. And the thing right now is that, we do this thing for them. We do our best to help out. But my mother nitpicks. Like a drill sergeant, it doesn't seem to matter how much I try to clean up every mess. Sometimes when I'm visiting, I'm cleaning up their messes. But so anyway, just a bit of background. My mother has Parkinson's, and she's away right now getting a neurostimulator reconnected. She's had to do a number of visits, had the leads reinserted, everything like that. But before they left, well, and maybe you heard about the snow in the Pacific Northwest. We needed to borrow a snow shovel. And it's kind of weird. My mother saying, "Oh, we should get a new snow shovel," and I'm like, "Okay." We took the snow shovel that was kind of it's old, falling apart, but I did my best to restore it. Just said, "Hey, I need to. Can I borrow it?" My father's first words were, "Oh, well, then what will we do to shovel a driveway with?" And I'm like, "Come on, Dad. I know you're not going to be shoveling it. Not to be melodramatic, but he's not well. He's dying, in fact, really, but very slowly, it seems." But anyway, we come over and say, "Hey, look, tell you what, we'll come over to borrow them, but we'll shovel what we can for you." And I gassed my foot, stepped on something, ball left foot. I wasn't really in a position to do it. So to Huffle's out shoveling the driveway. And I mentioned my father, he's experiencing some cognitive decline. So she's noticed that, okay, he's asked like 3 times, "Are you okay? You okay? You doing okay?" And I, let her do her thing, but I said, okay, you're hurting. It's lunchtime. I've made you some lunch. Come in, get something to eat. And he's making sure, has about to say her real name. Has Huffle had something to eat? Okay. Anyway, so I used their microwave to help, make some of this lunch. Basically made something, split it between the two of us. But I hear from my mother, and it's like, "Oh, well, you left a mess in the microwave." Like, oh, great. Yeah, I know. I said, I've tried to be really good about cleaning things up. This one, I spaced. Oh, well, maybe if you had just recovered it in the beginning, always some kind of, if you had this and the other, coulda, shoulda, woulda, that kind of thing. I went over today because they left this afternoon and also called and said, oh, we have, some food that we like to give you, too much on our end. I go in and I check the microwave, and she said, oh, it's fine now, but implying that it was cleaned up. It wasn't. It wasn't. So my father eventually called it, oh, we made it here safe. They're going to be staying like a day or two. And I said something to the fact, I just, Dad, please let her know I don't want the nitpicking anymore. I guess my question, if anything, is where do I need to fine-tune my boundaries on this? I mean, I've tried to lay at least one, but this is a thing. We're kind of hostage for, yes, we've told them, yeah, we don't want to be paid for house sitting. We get benefits out of being able to care for their cat, who loves us, by the way. But is this making sense? I feel like I've just got to keep everything much neater than I found it, or she's going to find something.
Yeah, well, but that's just when you live and house sit and you live on top of each other. That's just part of it. There's absolutely nothing you can do in that situation when you're that on top of people and they're on top of you. It's I mean, it's the old college roommate situation. You know what I mean? You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't have privacy. You can't have privacy.
Yeah, I had to tell my eldest kid about that. So my eldest kid went on vacation, Airbnb, and they came back, and I was like, hey, guess what? you are experiencing the roommate situation. They're going to do things that annoy you. So it's very fitting.
That's it. That's so you live in that. It's your life. The only way out is to get out. And I think we've mentioned that before, but it's not something that's really possible for you at this time. So there's really nothing that I could tell you on boundaries, because your boundaries ultimately are just for you. Really boundaries for you are going to look like you just learning not to care about whatever they say like that. If they're nitpicking,
I think now what our boundaries are, just to give you a specific on that, what's helping us is that we have our exit strategies, I think, as we told you before.
Yeah, and you have to look forward to that.
Even though last time Huff was like, oh, we have to take care of the thing.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to realize, what is she talking about? The thing? Oh, right. The thing.
Yeah. Nothing.
And we just have some kind of excuse to say, hey, we got to take care of something right now.
Right.
And that's really what I did to end the call with my father. I said, I got to get back home.
Yeah.
I got
that's
a
all you can do
to take.
That's all you can do. There's nothing else that you can do. Just accept their nitpicking behavior. That's it. Until you get out. So listen, I got to get going. I'm going to wrap it up because I'm freezing out here. But thank you for calling in. Appreciate that.
I figured. Hopefully you find out like a heating space heating or some kind of solution for your studio.
All right, Jack.
So thanks for taking my call, Kevin.
You bet. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
So I'm going to go ahead and get signed off so I can get some so I can get warmer. It is starting to get cold out in here, but I did want to answer that question I started to answer earlier. What do you do if it's people who in your family who are on the last stages of their life and they're narcissistic? And the answer to that is, well, what would you do? If the relationship was dysfunctional and toxic and non-connected, then what's the difference when they're aging and in the last stage of their life and no longer going to be around? I mean, it doesn't change. It's kind of like Christmas, People think that Christmas is some kind of a special night that all year long, you don't have to be involved with these narcissistic people, and they're toxic and they treat you like crap. But Christmas is such a special night. You have to come together, pretend to love each other, and buy each other gifts. That makes absolute zero sense. The same is true with, I would say, as far as end of life issues, things like that. People who aren't in your life, haven't been a part of your life, have been toxic. What is so special about them being at the end? And I mean, and if you want to go and say goodbye, go say goodbye. If you want to offer help, if you can assist in some way, great. But if you're expecting it to change the relationship dynamic, or if you're expecting to have that amazing movie moment where they grab you by the hand and tell you that they're sorry and that you were amazing and they wish their life was different, whatever, chances are that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So let's donate to get Kevin a heater. Yeah, go for it. Go to www.jointheroyalwe.com. There's a PayPal button there. Drop in some change, guys. I'll buy myself one of them. What do they call those? Butane furnace heater deals where it lights up, fills the area full of heat, and I can turn it off. Anyhow. All right, listen, love you all. And I'll be back next Monday night. Rain or snow or sleet or ice, I will be here Monday night. Love you all. Yeah, Destiny, hopefully that answered your question. Destiny was the one that asked that question as far as what to do when people age. Absolutely nothing. Doesn't mean anything's going to change. So with that, bye, everybody. Watch out for the video. New video tomorrow. It'll be posted in the morning on the Royal We channel. Hopefully you like it. New style, a little bit more energetic for a serious topic. But again, I'm testing these things out. I'm going to be looking at the analytics on it. So check that out. I'll be back next Monday. Go to www.jointheroyalwe.com. Check out appointments. Those of you who want to schedule appointments, one-on-one time, you can schedule that there. Thank you, Mrs. Kim, for that. You are awesome. Love that. Love the little guy, too. Little woo. He's all powered up. Instagram, Join the Royal We. Follow me on Instagram if you aren't already. Facebook is also the Royal We on Facebook. The Royal We host, you can look that up. And yeah, so I'll be back. See y'all again. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.